Plaintiff Sean Amerson sold his t-shirt printing machine at a steep discount, but the sale went sideways, and now he's suing for $5,000. Defendant Monel Castellan claims the machine arrived broken and leaking ink, so he's countersuing for $5,000 for repairs.
21 on the docket, Amerson versus Castellan.
Okay, thank you. As I see this here, the plaintiff, Mr. Amerson, is suing the defendant, Mr. Castellan, in the amount of $5,000 for the return of T-shirt printing equipment. And the defendant, Mr. Castellan, is countersuing in the amount of $5,000 for fixing the T-shirt printer equipment.
That's correct.
Tell me about that.
Your Honor, this con artist, Monel, stole my T-shirt printer equipment.
Okay, whoa. You're going to get a chance in a moment.
So, Your Honor, about 2.5 years ago, I retired from the Air Force after having served 20 years on active duty. And so I decided to... You're welcome, sir. Thank you. So I decided to start a T-shirt printing business.
Yes.
And I purchased this T-shirt printing equipment that was valued at over $19,000 2 years ago.
You got to sell a lot of T-shirts to pay for that.
You do, yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I was running this T-shirt business out of my house for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And it wasn't doing very good. And so at the same time, I was earning my master's degree in business administration.
Okay.
And so I decided to shut down the T-shirt printing business and sell.
And you put up the printing machine for sale?
Yes, sir. So I put it up for sale on eBay, and here's the original listing agreement on eBay where...
Yeah, I'd like to see that, yeah.
I listed it originally for $5,000 plus $500 for a shipping fee.
Right.
And at that point in time, Monel reached out to me and made a counter offer for $4,500 plus $500 shipping. So I accepted his counter offer for $4,500. And so at that point in time, Your Honor, this equipment weighs over 500 pounds. You can't just ship this, via, postal service.
Right.
So I had to go and I had to find a shipping company that would, ship this equipment for the $500 that we agreed upon. And so there's an individual that lives up in the Minnesota area. He said he was on his way back, and then he accepted the shipment for $500. And so here's the receipt where I paid $500 to have it shipped from Texas to Minnesota. And when he arrived, he called me and said, "Hey, I'm here."
Did the printer work before you sent it?
It did, Your Honor.
Was the printer sold as is?
The printer was sold as is. As you can see,
there's no way that it said in the listing that it was as is. It said it was working condition. Even when it got to the house, he said it was working condition.
It's not necessarily contradictory.
Okay.
Maybe when he sent it, it was working because the delivery didn't go well. Something happened along the way that when you got it, maybe because of the way it was delivered, it turned out not to be working then. But we don't know that when he sent it,
it was working.
You don't have any proof that it wasn't working.
I have a video, Your Honor.
You what?
I have a video.
There is a video of the printer working?
Correct.
Let's
the day before it shipped.
This is the Anajet MP5i printer that I sold on eBay. Go ahead and power it on. Everything's on. Everything's working. So we'll go ahead and power it off now and get it ready to ship.
All you showed is that it powered on. It didn't do anything.
When it got to our house, I had my wife videotape it because I was at work.
Now let's take a look at that video.
Okay, so that's one of the boxes. I heard him saying it's not even in the box. Okay. Where's the printer part of it?
It's in the car. Where's that?
The printer. Oh.
Yeah.
My goodness, it's so cold. It's frozen. There's ice on it.
Here.
That's where the ink is coming from.
So we opened it up. It had ink all over the place. So I called him up and I said, "Did you ship it with the ink in it?" He said, "No."
Okay, you're saying the equipment didn't work?
The equipment was soaked with ink.
Our
And then-
floor was
The
covered in
equipment
ink.
didn't work. What happened next?
What happened next, I'm wiping it out for 2 days.
Yes.
Right? And he asked me to turn it on. I said, I'm not going to turn it on because I don't feel comfortable with turning on a machine that's wet like this, right? And
Okay,
the
so
combination.
you let it dry. Two
So let
days
it dry.
later, you
I
turned
turned
it
it
on.
on, and it had errors in the window, like in the display.
At that point, Your Honor, he asked me what's the worst case scenario, and I told him right here in this cell phone text, I said you can return it for a full refund, and I have
And
evidence
we
of that
filed
right
the
here.
return request with eBay, and you refused the return request.
He's saying if it isn't working, you can send it back for a refund.
When we went to eBay,
Okay, in the complaint and in your answer, it appears that you're saying that when you notified him that it wasn't working, he suggested that at some point that you would send $2,000 so that you could fix it.
The same day that he said, will you accept the 2,000? Because first he said, okay, I'll see if I can file
So
with
he
the
said,
shipping
will you
company."
accept the $2,000?
And we said,
And they said yes.
We said, yes, send the 2,000. So we began ordering materials.
Yes.
Then the next day he contacts us and says, well, I can't give you a partial refund until 12 days from now, which, you know,
'Cause I was
our
broke.
time to claim on eBay would start to expire. We didn't hear from him for 20 days.
So how did this all end? You filed a complaint with eBay,
Yes.
and
you got the
eBay did
refund.
what?
We got what we paid for the product plus our shipping back.
But you still have the printer,
I still
and you're
have the
working
printer.
it. So
Yeah.
what you're telling me is you've got the printer, and you got your original $5,000 back.
Per eBay, yes. eBay
Okay.
told us to do both.
Got it. You said at some point that you were willing to give them $2,000, which brings the price down to $3,000 that you bought this for, and they're now fixing it.
Right, so they agreed to accept the $2,000. I said,
Which
give
you
me a
didn't
few
send.
I
days.
got it. Hold on.
Give me a few days to get the money together and send it to you.
Yeah.
And I have proof of that. I have a receipt here that they said, here, send to my PayPal account. And so I said, give me a few days to get the money, and then they basically went behind my back and filed the claim to
went behind your
get
back.
it,
I
to
told
get it
you-
refunded.
Okay, I'm not asking you people to like each other.
And I've got the receipt
Here's-
here where basically this is eBay saying, you know, they're going to be refunded their money and they need to send back the equipment.
Okay.
No.
And so when that was done, when it all closed out, I basically tried to contact them to get my equipment returned, which they never returned any calls, any text messages. So eBay won't help me. I called the Oakdale Police Department. They go out there and talk to them and said, did you get your money back? Yes, we got our money back. Did you return the equipment? No, we didn't return the equipment. In what world do you live in where you get your money back, but you don't have to return the equipment?
They sent him
I
an email
understand.
telling him that if he didn't respond to our claim and refund us our money, that they would protect us under the eBay money back guarantee and let us keep the equipment. And eBay has that in writing. We got a
Okay.
letter from eBay saying
I
that they
believe
told
you.
you that.
You had originally bought a piece of equipment for $19,000.
Yes, Your Honor.
You initially were selling it for $5,000, which you agreed to. You got the piece of equipment. It was not right. And you were agreeing at the time to reimburse them $2,000 to try to get it fixed. And you now have a piece of equipment which isn't working yet, but which, as you told me, you're working on. And no, you are not entitled to your $5,000 back, but you are entitled to $3,000 because you had agreed to sell it to them ultimately for $3,000, because even though you originally said $5,000, you were willing to send $2,000. So the judgment in favor
Your
of
Honor,
the plaintiff
Your
in
Honor,
the
before-
sum
Your
of
Honor, can I say one more
$3,000.
thing? This man is a con artist, Your Honor. Wow. Wow. I hope you're proud of yourself.
Hey YouTube, check out my new show, Judge Jerry. Now for sneak preview and behind the scenes footage, subscribe to my channel now.